Hi friends, this is the reading lesson for second grade. Today we are going to read a very cool story called Robots Go to School. You need your booklets open to page 6, you need a pencil, and you need a highlighter. Once you're ready, we'll go ahead and get started. So today's story is an informational social studies text. So we will be reading about real information about how some students use robots to go to school. I really love this story. I think it is fascinating. I think it is awesome. And it sort of reminds me of virtual learning. So let's go ahead and get started. We are going to read the first two sections of this story, and we will highlight our main ideas highlight the key details, and then we'll write two main ideas. When you are listening to the story being read, I encourage you to try and highlight on your own. Remember, when you're highlighting key details, it's what do we need to know? What is important? You're going to find in the introduction that not a lot of it is a key detail, but there will be some things that you definitely need to know before reading on. All right, here we go.
Extended Read 2. Remember to annotate as you read.
Robots Go to School by Kathy Kafer. It's a school morning. Drew wakes up and gets dressed. He eats breakfast. But instead of getting on the school bus, he turns on his computer. Drew stays home and sends his robot to school. This isn't a day in the future. It's not a scene from a movie. For Drew, it's just a regular school day. Special robots now go to school for some children. They help children like Drew who cannot be in a classroom. Most of these children are too sick to go to school. They have to stay home. Some are in the hospital. These children can get sick from being around other kids. School is dangerous for them. Teachers could go to these children and give them lessons. But teachers cannot keep these children from getting lonely. They want to be with other kids. They miss their friends. They miss being a part of school activities. These special robots let children who can't go to school feel as if they are there.
All right, so let's go ahead and stop there. I hope you highlighted some things. I know it can be kind of scary to highlight on your own, but there really is no wrong answer here. And I like to think of it as less is more, where I don't want to highlight too much, but I want to make sure that I know exactly what is going on in this story. So if I were highlighting, here's what I would have highlighted. I want to know, why are these robots going to school? So I know that this kiddo, Drew, he stays home and he sends his robot to school, right? So we know he stays home. Now, why does he stay home? It says most of these children are too sick to go to school and they have to stay home. Some are in the hospital, and these children can get sick from being around other kids. So these robots help them feel like they are a part of the class. They miss their friends. They miss their being part of school activities, but these robots help them feel as if they were there, right? Now, you might be thinking, well, I'm not sick and I miss going to school and I don't have a robot that can help me go to school. Lucky for us, we have Zoom. So we can still be in school, we're thankful for our computers and we're thankful for Zoom, and we can stay safe at home. Okay. So these robots do the same for these kids. And being in virtual learning, it's not the same, right? It's not the same as going to school, but it helps us just a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and turn the page and we will read how these robots work.
How school robots work.
Oh, and I forgot to mention, don't forget to highlight. Remember, you're highlighting the key details. What do you need to know about how these robots work?
Some students use robots when they have to stay in a hospital for a long time. On his computer screen, Nate sees everything the school robot sees. If the teacher does a math problem, Nate watches her. Nate hears the teacher talk. He can also hear what the other students say. From the hospital, Nate can ask questions. He can talk to his friends. The robot has a video screen. Nate's face shows up on that screen. If he wants to answer a question, he presses a button. A light flashes on the robot. The teacher knows to call on Nate. The robot has wheels. It can move around a classroom. It can travel up and down the hallways. It can go to art or music class. The robot can even line up with the other children during a fire drill. How does the robot move? Nate moves the robot with his computer mouse. A signal is sent through the internet to the robot, and the robot sends videos back to Nate.
Wow, so fascinating, right? Did you get some good highlights? Let's see. So if I was highlighting, I would want to note that Nate can see everything the robot sees, right? So if the teacher does a math problem, Nate can watch her. He can hear the teacher talk. He can also hear what the other students say. And he can ask questions all through the robot. So how does he do it? Well, the robot has a video screen and Nate's face shows up on the screen. If he wants to ask a question, he presses a button and a light flashes on the robot, which then helps the teacher know to call on him, just like a hand being raised. Now, I like this picture here because this shows the robot in the classroom. So it's just like another student. It can move around the classroom. So that's probably important. So if your teacher wanted you to do like group work, the robot could go to where the group is, and it can also move around the school. So if you're at a school that has different classes, then it could go to all the different classes, right? It even lines up for the fire drill. Now, while that is really fascinating, that's not necessarily important to highlight. If you highlighted it, that's okay. We're all learning here. Now, how does the robot move? Well, Nate uses his computer mouse to move the robot. And then the internet sends a signal to the robot, and the robot sends videos back to Nate. It's just a computer, friends, right? So cool. Okay, so we're going to stop highlighting for now, and I want you to grab your pencils. We are going to write two main ideas. So we'll go ahead and we have more space on page 27, so let's write it on page 27. And so remember, a main idea is like a sentence, one sentence that kind of tells what this section is about. So we learned that special robots go to school for kids that can't go to school, and it helps them feel like they are in school, right? So we can kind of take what we learned, we can look back at our highlights, and we can write that main idea. So we could say special robots go to school for children who cannot go to school and help them feel like they are in school, right? So these robots go to school in place of the children and help them feel like they are in school. If you need to pause the video, go ahead and finish writing that main idea. All right, now we're going to write a second main idea, and we are going to explain how these robots work and why they can be in place of the child. Okay, so we know that the robot helps Nate, because that's who we're talking about in this section, participate in school, right? This one's actually going to be 2 sentences. So it helps him participate. He can listen to the teacher, he can hear what other students say, he can ask questions, right? Now, how does the robot actually work? What does Nate have to do to control and move his robot? Okay, I want you to go back to paragraph 8 and you are going to read what we highlighted, and then you're going to finish off this main idea. So, what does Nate do to control and move his mouse? Whoops, maybe I just gave you a hint. What does Nate do to control his robot? You're going to write another sentence. It'll probably be pretty short. And then you're going to read this entire main idea to me on Canvas. All right, we'll finish the story tomorrow, friends. We'll see you later.